Arsenal now. Arsenal finished second for the third season in a row, in which probably a lot of people feel was another disappointing season for Arsenal, especially Arsenal fans and their critics as well. Should I say a sect of Arsenal fans and then, the critics of Arsenal as well. They felt like third consecutive second place finish was a failure. Considering the fact that Manchester City were honestly out of the race this season, um, I mean, for a good number of reasons, it just seemed to be a failure. Uh, but then they, I think personally for me, for the first time under Mikel Arteta, Arsenal finally for me had a squad that I would describe as a squad with quality in depth, because I do think that the depth of quality in the team was a major reason why they were still able to finish second. Arsenal lost pivotal players during critical times during the season, players like Gabriel Magalhaes, Gabriel Jesus, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz. These are all crucial players who honestly were missing at one point in time during the season. So, but at the end of the day, the squad players honestly were able to make the team tick and still achieve a second place finish, which is pretty good considering the competition in the EPL today. So squad players like Ethan Waneri, Miles Lewis Skelly, Jakub Kivior, Zinchenko, certain players were able to um, come in and do a good job for them. But what do you guys think? One player which you think Arsenal should sell, either for the purpose of them creating space for maybe a new striker, winger, or number 10. Your thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, this is tough for me just because I'm obviously more critical of my own team, and I want them to make the right decision. And just to point out what you were talking about, I agree that even though it looks like we've been stagnating in our performance and the fact that we got second again, how you mentioned that the squad depth really showed itself this season. I mean, the fact that we had Curior in the against Real Madrid and absolutely destroying them, and we had Mikel Merino up top. Like we were able to perform at the level we've been with not our ideal squad, missing so many players with injuries. So I think if we just keep working, we make the right transfers and sell the right players to hopefully get us over that tippy top line of maybe getting some silverware, we can get there. So with that being said, I had some crazy ideas, but I think the one that makes the most sense would probably be Martinelli for me. Just because value-wise, you could get good value for him still at this period. Probably like at least $6 million, if not, around there. And he has been underperforming, I would say, last 2 seasons. I like Trossard better, honestly, in most situations. And so and I know we have been looking at getting a left winger, a more dominant left winger than like to fill that side. I know we were looking at Nico Williams for a while. I'm pretty confident that is a high target to fill in that spot. And if we I would rather see someone new come in and then Trossard still be, someone that comes in, either whoever comes in gets injured or just, swapping the squad for fitness reasons. I think it would be a good move just financially and all that.
Interesting choice right there. A lot of Arsenal fans might come for you because I think a lot of Arsenal fans really, really like Martinelli. He brings that pace and excitement, and obviously he works so hard, like a warhorse, basically. But interesting choice right there, and solid reason as well. Rafa, how about you? Who do you think Arsenal should sell?
Uh, when you think about who should Arsenal sell, I think Arsenal at the moment, this guy, what's his name? Even Skelly, he's facing like what's the name? There's some bids I think that are coming for him. I think Madrid might probably want him. Not like I'm saying he should be sold the way like.
Yeah.
So I know you guys are looking at me that way. No, I'm not trying to say Skelly should be sold. Yeah, but but I said like I know Madrid are coming for him. What's the other guy again? Saliba as well. Yeah, Saliba. I know Saliba as well is someone that's probably going to be like a long term, and you guys should watch out for that one. I don't know. I'll probably come back to that. Watch out for that one. But in terms of anyone they should sell, I think first probably two. The first one first is probably Sterling. First boy at the door. It's probably the
Well,
first
the
person
good
at the
thing is
door.
that
But he's on loan,
sorry
isn't
to
he?
cut you short, but I think
Yeah,
he's
it's
on
on loan.
loan
It's
if
on
I'm not
loan.
mistaken.
It's probably coming back. Yeah. So I know definitely, like you guys don't have any intentions of keeping him. Have no intent there, definitely. And Sterling, and then definitely put is Jesus. Yeah, Jesus is probably a person I feel Arsenal should definitely move on from. He's one of the CT. Let's see the City rejects, the period when Pep was offloading all of them out and people were going to City to buy all the boys that Pep had used to win the league and everything. And someone like Jesus was probably seen as someone that could have led the Arsenal line for years. Because I think when Arsenal got him, it was probably around like I think it was around 25. So we around
Correct.
25, and he
Correct.
was seen as someone with 20 at 25. He had a lot of Premier League experience, and he hasn't lived up to it. He hasn't really, in terms of, I won't even say injuries per se. There are some periods even when he's even fit, and you probably just look at Jesus and you say, "Oh, he's not that guy. He's not that person." And the period when you guys got, when Arsenal got Havertz, the difference was actually very, very clear on like what
Hmm.
Arsenal were looking for in their kind of striker. Well, I say Arteta, and what Arteta was looking for in the kind of striker he wanted, and definitely Jesus is definitely not that guy to lead Arsenal and is there at all. Even if there's some periods where he shows the flashes where he comes back, he doubly does that purple patch. He does some full hat trick, does a hat trick, does like 2 goals, 1 goal, and he's on form and that kind of thing. But on the long run, he's never been that person that Arsenal always say they could rely on. So I would probably say he's someone that Arsenal should look at offloading this summer. And with the wage bill is at Arsenal, I would say yeah him because someone like him earning around like over 200 and you're actually not a person that could give at least 20 or 30. You can't even put in like 25 to 30 Premier League
Hmm.
appearances. He should be someone that should be at the door, definitely. So yeah, he's just for Arsenal.
Yeah, a solid shout right there by Rafa. Gabriel Jesus. I think one thing that's common with the mentions from Chris and Rafa is the fact that both individuals are Brazilian. So I don't know, I don't know if Rafa and Chris have anything against Brazilians at the moment, but yeah, um, two Brazilians who possibly could be sold by Arsenal. I think first of all, Mikel Arteta has never shied away from the fact that he could do with more options on the wings. And then when you consider some of the options that Arsenal have been linked to in recent times, or if I just want to say 2025 in particular, there's been talks about Rafa Leao, Mademola Lukman of Atalanta, um, a couple of exciting wingers, which you feel will obviously add a bit of flavor to the Arsenal side. And when you consider the difference in the profiling of both Martinelli and Trossard, you would say that having them at Arsenal right now is probably a good idea until Arsenal is probably able to sign a world class winger which probably has the X factor in which maybe Trossard and Martinelli both don't have. We probably would not advise Arsenal to let go of either of Trossard or Martinelli now, considering um, how sometimes I don't know why it is for Arsenal. Sometimes it seems like they take forever to make signings, even when they eventually get their man. It seems to be like they take forever to get that player. So I mean, so as not to put your club in a position whereby you are lacking good quality squad players, you would want to hold on to one before selling the other. So that's speaking about Gabriel Martinelli. But then when you then think about Gabriel Jesus, he's going into his fourth season at the club. As Rafa mentioned, he was 25 at the time he joined, and he will be 28 now, if I'm not mistaken. And then you think about the number of football games that he has missed for Arsenal. You think about his bad patch, even when he's fit. And you think about the fact that Arsenal, this current Arsenal team, is crying for an out and out striker, a proper number nine. Obviously, you do need the wage bill to be opened up a bit, and then you need squad space as well. Arsenal has sold Nketiah. Arsenal has sold Balogun as well. Talking about Flo Folarin Balogun. So with Kai Havertz, obviously at Arsenal now. Originally, we knew he was signed for that LCM position, moved into the number nine position, and obviously has made a good impact. So he's not going to be sold anytime soon. Gabriel Jesus does make a lot of sense. It does make sense for him to part with Arsenal. Maybe he needs to go back to Brazil, revive his career. Maybe go to Saudi, enjoy. It's his choice. But definitely, Gabriel Jesus seems like the more likely option to be sold. And yeah, he would bring good money for Arsenal as well. Maybe not as much profit as compared to Martinelli, but due to Arsenal's um, dying need, I think we would go with Gabriel Jesus for sure.